Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So when we stop the class, I need to stop here also?
Yes, if you have to. But I will do it.
Aha, you will be here.
Yes.
Okay.
11:45, yes?
Yeah. So Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sanyavani Paschatya Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada ki jai. Didn't know earlier. Asking for the blessings. You can join in if you know the mantras. Mukam karoti vachalang pangum langayate girin yat kripa tangam vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Jakshurun Militangena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna, welcome to our deity worship seminar. This is a combination, first time actually, it's an experiment. First time we combine the two deity worship seminars, part 1 and part 2. Usually they are taught separately, but here we have 1 full week, and so we have time to go through the whole deity worship seminar part in 1 stroke. It is actually an how to say, a summary study of what is taught in 3 weeks in Mayapur Academy, temple worship course, which is taught in 3 weeks. We will have here in 1 week, but don't worry, it is possible, because in Mayapur after 3 weeks you are supposed to give a test, to do a full puja with 16 upacharas to Gornitai without even using the book. So of course you need a bit more time to study that, but here we want to it in this intensity. We will all have an opportunity to perform the puja to Shishigonitai with 16 upacharas. We have 3 full sets, puja sets here, and you will work in groups. And each one will get an opportunity to go through the process himself or herself once, just to get an idea of how it works. But now we will start to slowly bring you there with all the required details around until you are ready to go through the puja. This is practically our goal, and this is where this 1 week seminar is aiming at. We will start with the bare basics of deity worship and then step by step move on. Therefore also the course is quite intense. We have 1 hour 90 minutes now, then we have half an hour break, and again 1 hour 90 minutes before 90 minutes before until a break, and then we have half an hour break, and again 90 minutes until lunch, and then we have a break till 4 o'clock, and we will meet again till 6 o'clock. So you will be practically 5.5 hours a day. We will be engaged in working through the materials. Hope you can manage to participate in this intensity, and then we will see what will be the outcome in the end. If you will all of you be able then to perform puja to Shishigonitai with 16 upacharas. Okay, but before we start, I would like to shortly go through the participants and hear from you the name and what is your background knowledge so far in deity worship, and what is your intention in participating in the deity worship seminar. What are you intending or desiring to learn especially? We can start here. Indulekha Gopi. Hare Krishna. Okay. Oh. The background knowledge and the intention of participation. Okay, thank you. Then Indulekha Priya. Thank you. Mataji? Kamya? Kamyavan. Very nice. Uh-huh. Wonderful. Nice. Welcome. Nice to have you in the group. Hare Krishna. And the Mataji behind? Amira. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Welcome. Hare Krishna. Then Mataji in the front. Hare Krishna. Jai Gopinath. Uh-huh. Hare Krishna. Mhm. 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 Okay. Okay. Y- okay. Nice. Your second initiative? Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Hare Krishna. And then we have Sundari Kishori. Mhm. Wonderful. Welcome, Sundari Kishori. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Good. And I forgot your initiative. Sorry, once again. Jivan, I was thinking, but I was not sure. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Jivan Mukta. Very nice. Yes, you are in Bangladesh. Hmm. Yes. You have second initiation? Okay, okay, good. Thank you. Welcome. Then we have Venuya Mataji. Thank you. Thank you. It's always good to hear again. Huh? Then one can um, reactivate, revive one's knowledge, one's memory, and it doesn't matter if we intend to go for a puja with 16 upajaras. It's simply helpful just to know about what's going on and to little bit understand more. Yeah, what's maybe going on behind the closed curtain on the altar. It's also meant as an inspiration and a meditation. Also, yeah. Thank you for being here. Then we have Charu. No, you are a listener. Welcome, Charu. Nice to have you here. Then Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anuttara. Yes. Yes. Mhm, mhm. wonderful. Thank you. Welcome. You are second initiated. Yeah. Thank you. Then we have Gopi Gita. Welcome. Wow. we, yeah, we would need to learn from you. Gopi Gita, exalted soul, living at the lotus feet of Lord Nishingadev for so many years, serving him nicely with two so wonderful kids. Welcome, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Then Mataji. Hare Krishna. Devaki. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. You are second initiated? First. Okay. Okay. Welcome. Very nice. Hare Krishna. And we have Mariana. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. Nice. So you have already a little background. Uh-huh. Yes. To learn more. Nice. Yeah, here we can. Even the puja, it is said actually puja is for second initiated devotees, but also non-initiates can learn. And then once they get the second initiation, they can already go for it. No, they can start immediately. So you're welcome. Hare Krishna. Then we have Yashoda Jivan Prabhu. Yes? Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Any background in deity worship? Okay, good. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, yeah. This is a sign of humility. Krishna Chandra Prabhu, he is already worshipping the Shalagram Shilas in Golokadam. So he knows practically the process with 16 upacharas, but he's coming here to participate again. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Welcome. Good. My name is Damodara Priyadasi, originally from Switzerland, serving in Golokadam since past 23 years, mainly in the service of Shri Shri Radha Madhav Mohan. So, okay. Then let us start. Not so much used to this technical stuff. It's okay? Huh? Okay, good. Question to all of you. A simple question to start with. Maybe even Charu knows. Who is the deity? In general. Yes? Krishna. I knew he knows. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Any other idea? Who is the deity? Indulekha, go. Yeah. Radharani also, of course. Yes? Directly. Huh? There's no difference. Venuya? Right. Thank you. Very important. It is said that our blunt material senses cannot perceive anything spiritual. Atashri Krishna Namadi Nabhavit Kraimindira. Sevon Mukhe Hichivados Vayame Vaspuratyada. But if we turn to the Lord in Seva, yeah, Mukha is the face, and Sevon Mukhe, we turn to the Lord with a face, with our face full of desire to serve. Yeah? Hichivado, starting from the tongue actually. Yeah? By reciting the holy name and accepting Krishna Prasad, which has been offered first to the deity. Yeah? Otherwise we don't get Prasad. Yeah? Svayame Vaspuratyada, then insights come into the divine pastimes of the Lord. Yes, so Krishna manifests himself in the form of the deity for us to become accessible to him, that we can offer our devotion to him and can develop our personal relationship with him. Very important. Yes, thank you. Any other idea who is the deity? Spuratyada means, spurti means insights. The insights we get into the pastimes of the Lord. Yeah. What he is doing. And the more we turn to him in service, the more he manifests his pastimes to us. Yeah. And the service of Archana, Vigraha, the service to the deity form, is one of the 9 most potent processes which help us to purify our consciousness and to become again aware of who we are, who Krishna is, and what our relationship with Krishna is. So the deity worship has, yeah, exactly, who we are, who Krishna is, and what is our relationship. There is a relationship between the soul and Krishna, an eternal loving relationship. And the process of archana, the process of deity worship, is actually giving us an immense, great opportunity to develop that relationship again. Because we attend the deity how we attend to a person. The deity is a person. The deity is Krishna, and the deity is a person. We serve the deity as we serve a person. There is no difference between the Archa Vigraha form and the form of the Lord or Krishna in the spiritual world. There is no difference. We are going to hear now a little excerpt of one class given by Srila Prabhupada, a very, very heart-touching class he gave on the installation ceremony of Rukmini Dwarkanath in Los Angeles, 1969. And there he speaks about who is the deity and how to approach the deity. What is the mood in which we are supposed to approach the deity? It is connected already? Yes. Ah, here, okay, good. Let's see. It's going to start. No, it's just opening. Can we have it louder? You have the text of this excerpt in your scripts. Can you have it louder?
Without becoming Brahma, you cannot approach Brahma. Just as without becoming fire, you cannot approach fire. Because the inconsistency of temperature, it is birth. It's like here is fire and unfeeling temperature. But the fire flames within the fire, they do not feel. Because the temperature is the same. Similarly, without becoming Brahma, without understanding oneself, realizing himself, nobody can, Krishna is the Param Brahma. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Purusam Shashvatam. Therefore one needs to keep himself very purified. Otherwise you cannot touch Krishna. That is not possible. It is fire. So you have to become fire. And how to become fire? Fire, you are also fire. But now you are covered fire. Covered by this material body. Therefore, you have to spiritualize this body by purgatory process. The same example, just like the iron rod. It is iron, but you put into the fire, it becomes warmer, then red hot, and then it is fire. Similarly, by the process, chanting process, by regulated process, it is, you are becoming warmer. And when it fully becomes red hot war, then your body is as good as Krishna. So, we have to keep ourselves always in the fire of Krishna consciousness. Then everything is all right. Otherwise, it will become dull and it will be simply idle work. That is the difference between idol worship and deity worship. If there is no light, then it is idol worship, heathenism. And when there is light, feeling, where is Krishna? Here is Krishna. Oh, I have to serve Krishna. I have to dress up him. I have to serve Radharani. She is there. Oh, I must do it very nicely. And as far as possible, decorate her to the best capacity. In this, if you always feel Krishna conscious, then you are fire. And the same example, keeping with the fire. And if you think it is a brass made dull, I mean to say, idol. These athaman pravardhantitan suthaiva bhajam. If you think this is a brass made idol, then it will remain a brass-made idol to you forever. But if you elevate yourself to higher platform of Krishna consciousness, then Krishna, this Krishna will talk with you. This Krishna will talk with you. There is a Moshidas Babaji Maharaj. He was talking with his deity. Krishna, just like Mother Maha. He was talking with Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami at that time had no temple. He was hanging his deity on the tree. So Madan Man was talking these things, Sanatan was bringing all these dry chapatis and it is stale and you don't give me any little salt. How can I eat? Sanatan Goswami says, sir, why shall I go? Whatever I get, I offer you. You kindly accept. I cannot move, old man. So Krishna had to eat that. Because the bhakta is offering, he cannot refuse. Jiman bhaktya prajit. The real thing is bhakti. What you can offer to Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. What you have got? What is your value? And what is the value of your things? There is nothing. Therefore, the real thing is bhaktya. Real thing is your feeling. Krishna, kindly take it. I have no qualification. I am most rotten fallen. But I applaud this thing for you. Please take. This will be accepted. Don't be perturbed. Always be careful. You are dealing with Krishna. That is my request.
Hare Krishna. Very wonderful, heart-touching words by Srila Prabhupada. He's even crying in the end. Always be careful, you are dealing with Krishna. That is my request. Anything what stuck to your mind, what you want to share with us, what was of a special importance for you in Prabhupada's words? Yes, Venuya. Thank you. Yes, important point. One of the essential aspects in deity worship is purity. Yeah? This is what Prabhupada put most emphasis on. Purity, cleanliness and punctuality. We will hear about that later on a lot. Thank you. Other points? Which, yes? Okay. We have nothing to offer. Right. Right. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs already to Krishna. So what can we do? What can he offer him anyway? But what he has not, what he is lacking in, is our devotion. Yeah? We can take items from the nature what are produced, like an apple, a fruit, a flower, a leaf, some little water, and we offer it with love and devotion. This is what we add. And when we do an aretik, when we have incense to offer, and we have an incense stand, then this incense stand is the vehicle with which we transfer our devotion. Because the incense and the incense stand already belongs to Krishna. But what we add is our feelings. Krishna, for you. Anything else? What do you remember from the lecture? What was especially touching you? Imagine Srila Prabhupada gave that class 1969. This was almost in the beginning of the movement. And his words were, this Krishna will talk to you. This Krishna will talk to you. This is possible. This is not impossible. He underlined that. Usually we think this is something what happens to highly elevated souls. Yeah? But Prabhupada, he was talking to devotees who were 1, 2, 3 years maybe in the movement, and he was telling them, this Krishna can talk to you, but we have to make ourselves fit. Then Krishna will exchange conversation with us. This is possible. This is not impossible. So This potency is there in deity worship, that we can, yes, uh, Jivan. Yes, yes, right, right, yes, yeah, 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 yes, exactly. Um, it will otherwise remain a brass-made idol for us. It will remain a brass-made idol. Yeah. But this brass-made idol, if we approach him or her with loving feelings, it may start to exchange in a loving relationship, even with conversations. Yeah. And that is there. I was once little in a angry mood towards Radha Madan Mohan. It happened. And I was standing in front of them after having just gone through the morning service, and I told them, actually I'm serving you now for so many years, but you never talk to me. And that after I spoke like that, I went up to the office. Those who are from Golokadam, they know where we have our office. And usually we have, in that time, we had a calendar in the office with Prabhupada's quotes. And these calendars are not according to the dates and years. They just are like 1st of November, 2nd of November, 3rd of November. You can use them every year again. Yeah? And usually it's not in the sequence how they should be, because nobody took care to turn the pages. And I was not used also to read these quotes. Yeah? But that morning I went straight up to the office. I took the calendar first thing when I came to the office, and it was the day what we also actually had, somewhere end of October. Oh, very close to what we are now. And Prabhupada, the first thing, I read the quote, he said, "This Krishna will talk to you." And I think, oh, this Krishna will talk to you. But you will have to make yourself fit now, then Krishna will exchange conversation. So this potency is there in deity worship. And it is offered to each and every one of us if we lovingly desire to start a relationship with the Lord. Who is the deity? We heard from Charu, he is Krishna. Yeah, and Shastra confirms that. We have Guru, Srila Prabhupada, Sadhu, Charu, and Shastra. Shastra is also telling us. And what is the Shastric proof that there is no difference between the deity and the Lord himself? There is a story in the Chaitanya Charitamrita which is giving the proof, the Shastric proof for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, that there is no difference between the deity form of the Lord and the deity itself. Anyone could think? Yes, Devaki wanted to. Yes. What do you think?
I don't know, but you say that Krishna is present everywhere,
Yes.
in every working.
Yes.
So then is the question why was the Murti in Sri Lanka
Mm.
and others not in Sri Lanka?
Mm. Did Prahlad Maharaj install the pillar before Nishingadev came out? Huh? He didn't. No, huh? Charu, he didn't. He didn't make Prampatishta, no yagya to the pillar. No, huh? The deity Krishna is not limited to appear from anything. You can put, once Indra Prabhu personally told me, you can put a Rolex watch on the altar and worship that watch as Krishna. And if your devotion is pure, Krishna will manifest from that watch to you. Krishna is not limited, but our perception is limited. Yeah? An installation ceremony, like with yagyas and pujas and abhisheks, is for us, that we understand now the Lord is there. He came, we called him. Yeah? But for the Lord, there is no difference. If we have such a huge function to call him, or if we offer him Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yume Bhakta Priyashati, it is said also in Prabhupada's lecture, Yeyatamam Prapadyante, Tanksadaya Bhajamyaham. On this way, how we turn to the Lord, he will reciprocate. Yeah? In Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram installation, opening, they called the brahmanas, the local brahmanas, to have the proper procedure done. Yeah? But Prabhupada, along with all the pujas going on, he ordered his disciples to have kirtan. And he said, this is the actual installation. Yeah? Even Sanatan Goswami in his Hari Bhakti Vilas, he's stating in Kali Yuga, deities are installed by performing Harinam Sankirtan. Because this is the Yuga Dharma. And this is how we call the Lord. Wherever Harinam is going on, the Lord is attracted. And he comes, and he's there, and we can worship him. Yeah? So, if the Lord is in the Murti, doesn't depend on the function done on the installation ceremony. Yeah? It depends on our approach. Even if we heard here, even in an installed deity, if we don't worship the deity properly, the Lord is not reciprocating. He's going. Yeah? He's going somewhere else where he has his devotion. There is this beautiful story of Karamama's Khichari. You may have heard about that. It happened in Jagannath Puri. Karamama was a devoted servant of Lord Jagannath. And she was preparing khichari for him every morning. But she had no idea about standards. And then once a panda from the temple came to visit her home. And he saw that everything is so dirty and she's not even taking shower before going to the kitchen. And he told her, if you want to cook for your deities, you first take shower, you put on clean clothes, you put on tilak, you chant your Gayatri mantras, then you chant your prescribed number of rounds on your mala, then you clean the whole kitchen with cow dung, everything, and then you can start the cooking. And Karamama was a devoted servant, and she was thinking, yes, this is how I should do. So next morning she did like that, and she was hopelessly late with the kitri. And Lord Jagannath from the temple, he used to come every morning to have the khichdi of Karamama, because it was so attractive to him. She cooked with love and devotion. Yeah? But that day, he could just start one bite, and then he heard the bell on the altar in the temple in Jagannath Puri. The pujari was about to offer breakfast to him, and he had to run back to the temple to be there on time. And he forgot to wash his mouth. Yeah? And some khichdi stayed on his mouth. And the pujari was very much amazed. He said, how is it? I'm coming now with the breakfast. I'm offering you the first thing in the day, but you already ate. There is something on your mouth. Where from does it come? Who gave you something? And the pujari, he had such a relationship with the deity that he told to Lord Jagannath, I'm not going to continue this offering now until you tell me where you have been. Yeah? And Jagannath was hungry. He could not eat in Karamama's house, and he cannot start eating now because the pujari doesn't want to offer, so he was in trouble. Yeah? And then he appeared in the mind of that of that pujari, and he told him, I went to Karamama. But because she was following all of your instructions, she was so late. Yeah? And I could not complete my breakfast there with her. So actually, Karamama was asked to continue to prepare khichdi every morning for Lord Jagannath. And the first offering a day, what is done to Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri, still nowadays, is Karamama's khichdi. Yeah? There we see Lord Jagannath, Krishna is attracted by our love and devotion. But of course, at the same time, what we also heard before, cleanliness is one of the most important aspects in deity worship. We will hear more about that. But also in this class here, what we just heard from Prabhupada, how he stresses the point, feelingly we need to offer our items to the Lord. This is what is ultimately attracting him. Yeah. So that story, back to the story from Chaitanya Charitamrita, who gives us the basis. Yes? You want to? Yes? Kshir Chor Gopinath? Yes? Yes? Kshir Chor and? Shakshi Gopal. Yes. What for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas is the basis of the proof, the basic proof that there is no difference between the deity and the Lord is actually the story of Shakshi Gopal. Yeah? Shakshi Gopal, the story is as follows: the two brahmanas from Vijayanagar, this is close to nowadays Jagannath Puri, yeah, went on a pilgrimage tour together. It was a young Brahmana and an old Brahmana. And the old Brahmana, he was the one who had the desire to go for pilgrimage. And the young one just said, okay, I will accompany you and I will assist you on the way. I will help you. Otherwise, the old one could not have done it. Yeah? That time, there were no airplanes, there were no trains, there were no cars. Yeah? They had to walk through the jungle, and there were wild animals. Yeah? And they had to find their firewood, and they had to cook in the forest, and had to find water. Yeah? So the young Brahmana was just there to assist the old one. So they came at the end of their pilgrimage to Vrindavan, what was the goal of their journey. And they were in front of Gopal, one deity which was worshipped in Vrindavan that time. And because the older Brahmana was so grateful to the young one, he told him, when we are back home, I give you my daughter as wife, as an expression of my gratitude to you. And the young Brahmana, he said, I don't think that will work. Because you belong to a rich Brahman family. I'm from a very poor Brahman family. Your family will not agree to your proposal. Yeah? But the old Brahmana insisted, said, no, this is my desire. I will give you my daughter as wife. So the two of them went back to Vijayanagar, and it came as the young Brahmana was thinking. The old Brahmana got in trouble. His son and his wife even dared to commit suicide when this old Brahmana would fulfill his promise. So now the old Brahmana was in trouble. And he was thinking what to do now. His son was not a devotee. He didn't believe that Krishna and the Murti is identical. And he told to his father, he gave him an advice, he told, just tell you don't know anymore about your promise. You cannot remember. Who will come to be witness? There was just a deity. So don't worry, nobody will know how it was really. It is like words against words, yeah? Aussage gegen Aussage. There were no witnesses around. So this is how the old Brahmana did. And all the assembly of the elders of Vijayanagar, they came together and they had to find a solution. Yeah? And the younger Brahmana, he was a devoted servant of the Lord. He was a true devotee. And he begged the assembly, please give me some time to go back to Vrindavan and to ask Gopal to come and be witness. Yeah? And the assembly allowed him. He said, okay, you go, you try your best, and you go and ask Gopal to come. So he took the trouble to walk back through the jungle, back to Vrindavan. Yeah? It's a long journey. He reached Vrindavan, he came to Gopal, and he was standing in front of Gopal, and he asked him, Gopal, you have to come with me. You have to be witness. You have to tell to the assembly what the older Brahmana promised to me. And then Gopal, he said, how you think I can do that? I'm a deity. I'm a deity. I cannot walk. And now comes the important point. The young Brahmana, he was very clever. He said, yeah, but if you can talk, what's the problem of walking? Then you can also walk, no? So what's the problem? What's the difference? If you already talk, then you can also walk. And Krishna was defeated by his pure devotee. Yeah. He said, okay, I will come. Under two conditions. I will follow you back to Vijayanagar. But you are not allowed to turn back to me. Where you turn back to me and look if I follow, there I will stand still and not move. Yeah? You will know that I follow you by the sound of the ankle bells. Yeah? And you have to offer me every day 1 kilo rice. And Gopal was very hungry. Once a day, 1 kilo rice, and then he's satisfied. No? Not so demanding, but at least 1 kilo rice. 1 kilo. So the young Brahmana agreed, said, okay, Tike, we do like this. Huh? And they walked back together. Gopal was following him, and the young Brahmana, he heard the sound of the ankle bells. And he understood, yes, Gopal is there. And at one point, he did not hear anymore the sound of the ankle bells. He was close to Vijayanagar. And he looked back and he saw Gopal stood still. He stopped by his own sweet will. It's like the assembly of Vijayanagar, he had to come to the Lord. It's not the Lord coming to the assembly. Yeah? So they came there where Gopal was stopping his walk, and Gopal made his witness. He told to the assembly how it really was. And the assembly decided, yes, the old Brahmana has to give his daughter as wife to the young one. And this is how it came. Yeah? And they built it, they constructed a temple there where Gopal stopped his walk. Yeah? And still nowadays, if you go to Vijayanagar, you will find this temple. Yeah? It's a temple of Shakshi Gopal. Gopal got the supplement Shakshi. Shakshi means witness. Yeah? The witness, the Gopal who was witness. Yeah? And in this story, we have this sequence of, my dear Lord, you are not at all a statue. You are directly the son of Nanda Maharaj. And if you can talk, you can also walk. Yeah? This is how Gaudiya Vaishnavas understand that there is no difference. If you have the purity in approach to the Lord, then he will reciprocate in this way. There is a story of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda going to visit Gauridas Pandit in Ambika Kalna. Anyone has been to Ambika Kalna? No? If you are in Navadvip, you take a train and you go east, down the Ganga for around 20 minutes and you reach Ambika Kalna. And there is the home of Goridas Pandit. And before Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he wanted to visit his dear devotee Goridas Pandit. And Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, they went there and they brought deities of themselves to Goridas Pandit. And they told to Goridas, you worship these deities. There is no difference between the deities and us. When you worship these deities, you are always in our association. And Goridas Pandit, he was also clever. He said, okay, if there is no difference between the deities and you, then let the deities go and you stay here. Yeah? And what happened? The deities became alive. Yeah? They had their arms up, like we know Gonita in dancing position. They became alive, they took their arms down, they came down from the altar and they ran out the house. And the real ones, they climbed on the altar, put their arms up in the sky and became deities. And then Goridas said, no, stop, the other way around. The real ones should stay here and the deities should go. And the deities came back and went on the altar and became again like deities. And the real ones who were deities became alive and went out the house. And Goridas said, no, not like this. And this happened many times, so many times that Goridas was completely bewildered. He didn't know anymore who are the real ones and who are the deities. And then he had to admit, yes, there is no difference between the deity and the Lord himself. Yeah. There was the story of Lokanath Goswami. He was one of the first Goswamis sent by Lord Chaitanya to Vrindavan, together with Bugarbha Goswami, even before the 6 Goswamis came to Vrindavan. Lokanath Goswami and Bugarbha Goswami were already sent to Vrindavan to find pastime places of the Lord. Lokanath Goswami, actually, he found over 300 pastime places. But before he found them, he was wandering through the forests of Vrindavan. Nowadays, when we come to Vrindavan, we have many, many temples, over 5,000. In each house is a temple. Yeah? Vrindavan even is about to become a city almost. So much construction is going on. But that time when Lokanath Goswami came, there was just jungle. Nothing around. And he had the task given by Lord Chaitanya to find the pastime places of the Lord. And he was wandering through the forest all alone and he felt little lonely. And he was praying, oh my dear Lord, I would so much love to have you here in your Murti form to worship you. And as we know, Vrindavan is Chintamani Dham, is wish fulfilling. Maybe you had that experience also while being in Vrindavan. We have to be careful what we wish. Immediately it becomes true. Yeah. So Lokanath Goswami desired to have Krishna in his Murti form. What happened? Between the bushes, an old Brahmana came who was carrying a basket with him. And he approached Lokanath Goswami and he said, oh, Baba, see, I'm too old to worship my Thakurjis, my deities. Please, you take care of them. And Lokanath Goswami, he was amazed. Wow, so immediate the response. And he couldn't believe what just happened. And then the deities start to talk to him. What are you amazed of? You were asking for us, now we are here. We are hungry. Please cook us something. Yeah. Actually, these deities are Radha Vinodi Lal. Radha Vinodi Lal. Very, very beautiful deities, about the same size as Radharaman. They are worshipped. These original deities are worshipped nowadays in Jaipur also. They were also brought to Jaipur. Vinod Lal, yeah. Radha Vinod Lal, very sweet deities. If you once happen to come to Jaipur, go to take darshan of them. With the help of these deities, Lokanath Goswami found over 300 pastime places of the Lord. Yeah. So these are some stories where we see the reciprocation of the deity with the sincere servant, with the sincere devotee. But we may now say, yeah, that happened on the level of perfection, but what about us? But we heard in the lecture, and it was 1969. The movement was so young still. The youngest devotees, or the oldest devotees respectively, were maybe 3 years in the movement. Very young. We can imagine where we were after 3 years. And Prabhupada tells to them, these deities can talk to you. This is possible. It's not impossible. So he gives this potentiality in deity worship to us, to each one of us. But what is necessary is we have to make ourselves fit. Hare Krishna. We have to make ourselves fit to exchange conversation with the Lord. Yeah. It's not just happening like that. In this way, how we turn to the Lord, in this way He will reciprocate. This is a very, very important point in deity worship to consider. Now, one quote from the Padma Puran. It says, one who thinks the deity in the temple to be made of wood or stone, who thinks of the spiritual master in the disciplic succession as an ordinary man, who thinks the Vaishnava in the Achyuta Gotra to belong to a certain caste or creed, or who thinks of Charanamrita or Ganges water as ordinary water, is taken to be a resident of hell. It's quite strong. Quite strong. One who thinks the deity in the temple to be made of wood or stone. And the Charanamrita. What is the Charanamrita, Charu? You know? No? Charan, Amrita. Charan are the lotus feet. Amrita is the nectar, what comes from the lotus feet. And we bathe the deities, what we have as a bathing water in the end, is the Charanamrit, the nectar. Usually bathing water we throw away, but when the Lord gives His bathing water, this is the pure nectar, we drink it. And on that day when we drink the Lord's bathing water, we don't have to face death. So every day we should take the Charanamrit of the Lord. Then we become Amrit. Mrita is death and A is the negation, deathless. Just by accepting Charanamrit. So if we think the deity as ordinary materials, made of ordinary materials, then we are considered to be a resident of hell. And one more quote is there. This is by Prabhupada in Purport to Bhagavatam 4:12-17. He writes, worship of the Archa Vigraha is not idol worship. The Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Lord, in a form appreciable by a devotee. Therefore, devotees engage in the temple in the service of the Lord as Archa Vigraha, a form made of stula, material. Objects such as stone, metal, wood, jewels, or paint. All of these are called stula, or physical representations. Since the devotees follow the regulative principles of worship, even though the Lord is there in his physical form, he is non-different from his original spiritual form. Thus, the devotee gets the benefit of achieving the ultimate goal of life, that is to say, becoming always absorbed in thought of the Lord. Yeah? This is the opportunity what we gain from worshipping the deities. We hear in Nectar of Devotion of 64 angas, 64 items, how we can engage our senses in the service of the Lord. And there is the anga number 19. In this anga we have 69 more items, which practically all of them refer to deity worship. Yeah? And of the original 64 angas, around 35 plus more of the 64 are all in relation to deity worship. There we see how important deity worship is. But what is the basic principle of all of these angas? What is the underlying principle of all of these 64 angas? Why are these 64 items given to us? What is the purpose? Yes, Marianne? Very good, thank you. Always think of Krishna and to never forget him. Arjuna is offering a wonderful opportunity to us to always think of Krishna and to never forget him. Once we had a friend of mine from Vrindavan for a few days in Goloka Dham, and she was dressing Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, and 7:15 or like 10 past 7 she went from the altar, finished her service, then she started the meditation about the next day. Hare Krishna. You bring it back? I would need, yes. But you need it downstairs also. Yeah, I will stay with this. Okay. So she came from the altar and started to meditate about the next day already. She started to choose the outfit. Then in Goloka Dham we have a small backdrop and we have a big backdrop. She chose what was fitting to the clothes, to the dress. Then she started to choose the jewelry. And that time we were used to make the turbans the day before. Yeah? For all of them, also for Gornitai and for Madan Mohan also, we used to make them before the day before. Then you have more time, no? Because that time one person was dressing, not two persons. Now we have two persons. Makes it a bit more relaxed. So she prepared the turbans, she prepared the jewelry, and once she was done with that, that took her actually the whole morning. Yeah. Then when she was done with that, she went to the forest collecting flowers, and the rest of the day she spent with preparing flower ornaments for the deities. She not just made garlands, she made also armlets, she made belts, and such flower belts, what Radha Madan Mohan got from her, they never ever got in this sweetness, exactly fitting to their size. She made decorations for the head, decorations for the flute. Actually, there are two services in the spiritual world which are the most favorite one. This is cooking and preparing flower ornaments. Yeah? Indulekha Gopi is responsible for the flowers in Goloka Dham. So, she was sitting in the temple room all afternoon, preparing the flower decorations. And when we approached her, whatever she would say was just Krishna Katha. She was just telling pastimes about the Lord. Once it happened that I had to wake up the deities. I came in the temple room at 3 o'clock in the morning. That time it was, it's a little bit earlier than here for Lord Nrsingadev. And still also I had to prepare in the same time for Srila Puja, so I had to start already by 3 o'clock. And she was still sitting there doing her ornaments, her decorations. And I told her, in 2 hours your service starts, you need to rest a little bit. She said, yes, I will just go to take rest and then I come back for 5 o'clock to do my service. This is how Archana can become a means to engage our mind 24 hours a day. Even in the night, I guess she was dreaming of how she will be doing the dressing the next day. Yeah? The basis of Archana is to always remember Krishna and to never forget him. And the personal approach to the deity is helping us to put this in action, to really arrange our lives in such a way that we always think of the Lord. Actually, the Pujari is someone who is always thinking about the welfare of the deity. Is it maybe too hot? I should give him relief. Put on a ventilation. Is it too cold? I should bring him a chadar. Yeah? Maybe he needs a little more water. Maybe warm water instead of cold water. Yeah? The Pujari is always about to think what is the need of the deity. Yeah? And is always ready to go and attend the deity. So this is about the understanding of who is the deity. And now, why are we performing deity worship? You already heard few points. What are your thoughts on that? Why are we performing deity worship? Why are we worshipping the deities in the temple? Yes, Charu. Wonderful. Yes, to please Krishna. Perfect. Thank you. Mariana? To develop a relationship, yes, with Krishna. Thank you. Other ideas? Why are we worshipping the Lord, the deity? Yes, Iduleka Priya. Purify our consciousness. Deity worship is an extreme, intensive process of purification because it needs a lot of aspects to be followed before we approach the deity. Yeah? Also, Prabhupada mentioned in the lecture, Krishna is like fire, and if we don't become like fire, we will get burned. Yeah? Means there is the need to purify ourselves. Yeah? We will hear a lot about purification. There is internal purification and the external purification. Yeah? The external purification might be a little bit more easy to follow. The internal purification is done, of course, by chanting Harinam. Yeah? And bringing our mind in close connection with the Supreme Lord. Yes. Why do we perform deity worship? We saw that our pure Nitya Siddhas, our highest Vaishnavas, examples in our line, the Goswamis, they had this loving relationship with the deity. And we also heard how Sanatan Goswami was behaving with his deity, that the deity was demanding, I'm hungry, or like, you give me only this dry chapatis, can you not please add a little bit salt? Yeah. And Sanatan Goswami, he was just responding, today you ask for salt and tomorrow you ask for sweet rice. I cannot provide that. Be satisfied with whatever I can give you. Because the deity, Madan Mohan, came on his own sweet will. Sanatan Goswami did not invite him. The deity wanted to come to Sanatan Goswami. He was a family member of the Kobe family in Mathura. Yeah? And once Sanatan Goswami was knocking at the door of that family when he was on his way for Madhukari. Yeah? Madhukari is like, Madhu is the bee, and Kari is like you carry something like the bee, little bit nectar from here and from there, and you put it together and you get a whole pot of nectar. Yeah? This is how the sadhus maintain themselves. They don't go and buy from the market and then they do their cooking and they have their prasad. No, they go and ask for alms. And it's the custom also in Vrindavan that the families are giving in charity to the sadhus. So Sanatan Goswami, he came to this house of the Kobe family and he was knocking, and the lady was opening the door, and the deity saw Madan Gopal was the name actually that time, and then later on they changed the name into Madan Mohan. Madan Gopal saw Sanatan Goswami, and in the night, in the dream, he appeared to the lady, Mrs. Kobe, and told her, I want to go with that sadhu. Give me to that sadhu. Yeah? And the next day, when Sanatan Goswami came to that house, she told him, oh Baba, see, he has grown up. Our Madan Gopal has grown up now, and he wants to go with you. Please take care of him. And Sanatan Goswami, how can he refuse when Krishna wants to come? Huh? So he took him. But he had just a little straw hut. How could he take care of him properly? He was putting him in a basket and hanging him on a tree. Yeah? This was how Madan Mohan was first taken care of. And then of course he expressed his desires to have little salt in the dry chapatis. Not just wheat, flour and little Yamuna water. It doesn't make the chapati so very tasty. And then of course we know the story that a boat came with a huge load of salt which was on the way to Mathura to be sold on the market, and Krishna arranged it in such a way that the boat lacked, the boat came on a stone in the Yamuna and could not continue its floating, its journey down to Mathura. And Krishna, in the form of a little boy, he approached the captain of the boat and he told him, oh, my Baba is on the hill there, he may be able to help you. And Sanatan Goswami somehow was able to help with the boat, and they could continue with their journey. And the captain promised that he will reciprocate once he sold all his salt. And he gave so much money to Sanatan Goswami, and salt also, of course. He gave salt to Sanatan Goswami, and also money, and a huge temple could be constructed for Madan Mohan. And of course he got his salt for the chapatis. So there we hear how deity worship is very natural, and how close the relationship is of our acharyas, the Goswamis with the deity, but also for us. We heard about the 64 items of deity worship, and there are 5 items of these 64 ones which are the most potent one. Anyone knows what are these 5 items? Most potent one of the 64 items of deity worship. Yeah, that is all. This is the 9-fold process what Prahlad Maharaj gave in the Bhagavatam. Yes, and they are all same important, right? Krishna. You are already with the puja, yes. There are also 5 upacharas, right? This is coming a little later, like after one day. To live in the Dham is one, yes. Associate with devotees, yes. Serve the devotees are two. Study the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, 3. 2 are missing. Chant, yes, chant the holy name. And 1, prasadam is always good. No, archana. Archana. To engage in the process of deity worship. And it is said with even a little bit of faith in one of these 5 processes will already awaken our dormant love for Krishna. Yeah? And archana is there also mentioned. Because we have a personal form of the Lord in front of us, and we can serve Him as we serve a person. Yeah? And we can put our emotions, our feelings into our service. And this will evoke our dormant love again for the Lord. Now, in this process or in this sequence of the 64 angas, we see that archana is one of the most potent one. Then we have the process which Prahlad Maharaj, the process is the 9 processes which Prahlad Maharaj mentioned, which are extremely powerful also if we engage in all the 9 processes or in one only. We will reach perfection. This is what Mariana mentioned with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Vandanam, Atmani Vedanam, Archanam. Archanam is also there. In these 9 processes, Archanam is also there. Yeah? And if we just engage in one of these items, we will be able to reach perfection. So there also we see Archana is extremely a potent process for us to advance on our path. And we can perform Archana in different ways. Even when we attend an Aratik, we are already performing deity worship. Because the one who attends an Aratik has the same benefit as the Pujari on the altar who is doing the Aratik. Yeah? When we are there at the moment of deity greeting at 7:15, we get the same benefit as the Pujari who just performed the puja from 5 to 7. Yeah? Here they do every day the Shalagram Shila worship. When we are there, when the altar opens at 7:15, we get the same benefit as the Pujari who was just engaged in offering the 16 upajaras to the Shalagram Shilas. When we bow down, when we come into the temple, we bow down to the Lord, we perform deity worship. When we bring a flower to the Lord, we perform deity worship. Yeah? So, yes? Yes, yes, definitely. When we worship Srila Prabhupada, this is also deity worship. We worship Srila Prabhupada in his Murti form. Murti is just a Sanskrit term of deity. There is no difference between the deity and the Murti. Deity is just the English word and Murti is the Sanskrit or Hindi word for the deity. Yes. So in so many ways, we are engaging ourselves in deity worship, even no need to be on the altar just to perform deity worship. Also the one who is in the pujari room cleaning all the paraphernalia, yeah, he is in the same way serving the deity very closely. Because what do we offer on the altar? The beautiful shining items which have been polished by the pujari helper. Yeah. The benefit goes to the pujari helper. Yeah. He gets a lot of mercy by polishing the items. And of course, if the pujari um, gives a lot of attention to the way how he offers the item, he has also a lot of benefit of that. Yeah? But the pujari helper is actually the one who makes everything shiny, everything coming out very beautifully, very sattvic. And this is attracting the Lord. So we see Arjuna has an importance for our spiritual advancement, a great importance. And there is also an importance for the whole movement. But about that we will hear after the break. It is now 11:45. We will have half an hour break. And then we will meet again 12:15 to continue from here until 2 o'clock. Yeah? Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.